have him here before the end of the program. The next one on the agenda, who do you have?
We have the Social Security, the DCA of Mr. Fabuka Njal.
Okay. Looks like
Mr.
Fabuka is also not here.
Yeah.
We go ahead. Who is the next one we have on the agenda?
We have the representative of the principal of Yalisa Senior Secondary School, in person of Babuka Jaju. Let's give a round of applause. He's seated there.
It's a pleasure to have you, sir. Despite your busy schedule, you were able to grace this occasion. We are happy. Thank you so much. And the next one on the list, number 5. Okay. Yes. So we have the next one, who is the principal of West Africa Science and Technology School, Mr. Nachi Anya. Do I get it right? Anya?
Mr. Nachi Anya Agu. Yeah, let's give a round of applause, please.
It's a pleasure and apologies. Yeah. So still on the introduction of the guests that we have. The special guest that we have. The next one is Mrs. Suwaibu Ba, who is the head teacher, the Swallow Emancipation of Education. Do we have Mrs. Suwaibu here present? Okay. Looks like she's also here to arrive. The next one on the agenda is who is the head teacher of the Gambia College Lower Basic School. It's a pleasure to have you present here, Ma.
You are welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Who is the next one we have on the agenda?
In the agenda, we have Mrs. Fatumata Jete, representing Star Oil. Let's give her a round of applause, please. You are here. Please, can you signify by raising your hands? You need to come and sit in the front here. Okay. Okay, she just left a little bit, but she's coming back. Then on the list, we also have Mrs. Suka Ja. Is she around? Mrs. Suka Ja?
Okay, looks like Suka is yet to arrive. Okay, we have a representative from Star Oil. Okay, so we have Mr. Yaya Ture, who is representing Star Oil, right? Applause for him, please. Thank you, have a great occasion, sir. Thank you so much. So right after that, that's all we have on the invited guests. The last one that has been updated now is it's a business tycoon instead, and her name is Aisha Tampa. A round of applause for Aisha. Thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing the occasion. Thank you. So the next thing on the agenda, after the introduction of our guest speakers, we will deem it necessary at this point to introduce the occasion. And of course, we mentioned that we are here today purportedly to grace this occasion, and it's called the African Nation Quiz. Like we said earlier on before, we deem it necessary that we tell our stories. We feel it's important that our own stories are being told by ourselves. And of course, like I said, involving the kids is the best way information. That is, the African Nation is a fun educational game established to promote the study of African nations to help students develop free thinking and growing holistic minds about everyday world around them, while fostering healthy academic rivalry among ages.
The next agenda, with this opening ceremony, we are going to have a poem recitation from a poetry club in the name of our camera. Please let us give her a round of applause as we call for our camera.
Applause for our camera, please.
Good day, everyone. My name is Arthur, and I'm here to recite a piece entitled written by myself, and here it goes. Africa. My poem entitled Africa, written by myself, and here it goes. Africa, as mighty as it sounds, my motherland. Africa, my homeland. Africa, my continent. For it is in Africa where our soul is welcome in every stage for real addressing. See, we give everyone a bright smile as we show our black gum and white teeth and a pinch of our dimples and our cheeks. See, when the sun rises, every place shines, the trees wave you as pass by, listening to the splash of the ocean and beautiful seaside. Africa, my homeland. It is a mixture with another, and here it goes. It touches my heart when the ideas and sentiments of women are underrated. When the law becomes a club that can be worn by anyone and everyone. When rapists roam free in glee like these guys, monsters, dealing with trusted police officers. But hey, Mr. Man, excuse me, think about our future. For you are a disgrace to humanity. So long as you continue to torment women, they still stand to become the pillars of every country. So if we can shape her into something better, then do not destroy her. For if we can protect and cherish her, then slit her souls into pieces that she might find difficult to pick, bit by bit, one by one. See, bear in mind that you are not above the law. Fix, rebuild broken pieces of love, spread it to the core. Abstain from being a piano of violence, no war. See, live to love and live, then live large. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Very, very, very appreciative.
Thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful point. It's important that I kick off because at some point, like before we start the program, I mentioned that I was getting a bit carried away, and I got carried away, but I'm back. Students, this is to tell you that, yes, we all get nervous at some point. If you want to do anything, I'm re-emphasizing this so you know, right? Sometimes you want to do something at some point, you feel nervous. That should not deter you, it should not stop you. You kick back and go again, right? You kick back and go again. So here I am starting. I am now energized. So we continue with the show. Apologies if at any point I messed up. I'm back again, re-energized. So yes, we continue. What do we have on the agenda?
We have the opening of the African Nation Quiz and book launching. We're going to welcome the Gambia College Lower Basic School.
Back up with a point. So can we have the Gambia College Lower Basic School here right now? Can we have them? Are you here?
Let's give them a round of applause as they are coming.
Yes. Okay, there you go. The mic is all yours. Are you the Gambia College Side Lower Basic School? Yeah? Can we have the representative of the Lower Basic School? Okay. What do you want to do for us here right now? Anything you want to say? Okay. Looks like go back to your seat. I'm sure we would have them later. Looks like we called them pretty early, so we can go with the next program on the agenda. The next one, what do we have on the next one on the agenda?
We have the opening ceremony and the presentation of books by Mr. Lami Fatajo. Please let's give him a round of applause as he comes to the podium.
Is Fatajo here?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Thank you very much, Jakam. Guests here present, the organizers, students that are participating, the sponsors, teachers here present, good afternoon to you all. It's a pleasure to be associated with this organization and with the program, African Nations Quiz. African Nations, you'll all agree that this is a unique quiz that has never been done anywhere, for the first time and homed in the Gambia. First of all, we may ask ourselves why African nations? Africa as a continent, as we said, is endowed. As we said, we have a lot of things. But sometimes when I walk around, just recently we were raising a flag, the Gambian flag in our region, when we had the CCM, to show patriotism, because there are a few things that will show who we are, first as a nation, then as Africans. As a nation, like the Gambia, we have what we call symbols that indicates that we are Gambians. We have rituals that we do, things that we do, that confirm our Gambianship, that we've done here. We read the national anthem together. All of us stood and respected the national anthem. That shows that we are Gambians. You also have the national flag. That's a symbol that indicates that that flag is unity. The African Gambia, a country in Africa. You have the emblem that provides that our security everybody wears. That must be respected, even where you are more powerful than those people. The fact that they are wearing those emblems, you dare not touch them because you are respecting that very emblem. But how many of us do know even the meaning of our flag? Sometimes when the national anthem is read, we see people driving by, we see people walking, not respecting the national anthem. That shows something is missing in us, and I think this program has come to unveil who we are, to know better ourselves, to respect ourselves. You go to other countries. I remember when I was young, playing football at the McCarthy Square. Anytime that the national anthem is read at the president's residence, the State House then, when the flag is raised in the morning and lowered in the evening, wherever you are, those going to the market will stop, those playing football will stop, everybody will stop and listen to the national anthem until it is done before we move on. Is that happening today? No, because we are not cultured to understand this thing. African nation, I believe, has come to bring in these things in all of us. Every country in Africa has an identity. Can I look at a flag and know which country it is? Where is it coming from? Do I know when we have our independence? Who are those who fought for the independence? What strategies were used? Was it through war? Was it through dialogue? And all others. Who were the participants? Who are we? We cannot know ourselves if we do not know our history. And if we do not know our history, we cannot move forward. It is important that we know who we are. And this is an opportunity for us to catch our children young, bring them through this process so that they know who they are, so that they respect the symbols that indicate who they are, so that they know those who participated in their independence, the struggles that we went through as a nation. I'm so delighted when I got myself being given the chairmanship of this meeting to do the statement of the chairperson. You are all young, you have opportunities, but these symbols, the rituals, and all the things that we do, because these are the things that entrench the values that you have for yourself. Because the values are your beliefs of yourself. The values are the things that will drive you to be who you are, to contribute not only to the Gambia, but to Africa and the world at large. Values are important, and symbols and rituals are the things that portray who we are. You can only change your clothes. You can move, you can change the way you move, but you cannot change in you the feeling that you have that you are a Gambian, wherever you go to. You can only be a Gambian. That's the values that must be entrenched in you, so that there is no place like home. Wherever you are, you must contribute to the development of your country. Africa is important to all of us. Africans during the struggle has been supporting one another to get individual countries get their independence. We have the Pan-Africans who came to make fight to get Africa out of the hands of our colonialists. Some of them lost their life in the process. Some of them gained of independence, put on good footings. Are we still on those paths for national development? Africa is our Africa. Africa is the continent that all of us are in. And more so, we cannot love Africa if we do not love our countries. And loving your country means you have to know and respect these three elements of your country. One, the symbols that shows that you are from this country. The flag of this country must be raised in your offices, in your homes. Everywhere that you go to, there must be something that reminds you that you are a Gambian, you are an African, and that must be your flag. You must respect the emblem. Whoever wears the emblem, that's the badge that you saw on the caps of the police, on their arms. That indicates that anybody who wears that is being empowered by your nation and must be respected. And the rituals that we do, we sing the national anthem. The feeling that we have when the national anthem is being sung is important for us to continuously doing it on a regular basis, all our gatherings, to give us the feeling of nationalism. We can only love Africa if we live as Africans, if we have the feeling, the virtues of an African, if we fight to be African. It's sad that our potentials We have a lot of brain drains in Africa because we are not cultured to love our countries as we should be. And I think African nation is an opportunity for us all to unveil ourselves, rediscover ourselves, take the path in which we will love Africa and develop our country. Generations to come must be people that are cultured to love Africa. And we are losing that culture, and I think this is a big opportunity for us all to love our country. To love our country, and only by loving our country we can love ourselves as Africa. There are a lot of resources in Africa, but today, what do we have? We export our gains and import our losses. What do? We export all our resources, and then it is refined. It is given added value and brought in differently to us and sold to us at a higher price. Why are we not doing so? Because the brains that we have to do those things are not cultured to love this country. They prefer to love other countries because they think those countries are already developed. That's where they can develop themselves as individuals. Individualism against generalism is one of the things that we should culture ourselves. Do I love myself over my country, or do I love my country over myself? Loving your country over yourself is developing you in your country, but loving yourself over the country is bad for any country, would not take any country further. So I am quite pleased to be with this. This is a message that I will give to you, all of you. Let's take it seriously because it's going to unveil a lot of things that these kids will learn about Africa ourselves so that we will all contribute to the development of the country. On that note, I want to thank you all for your listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fataja. He is the director of Region 2. That was an invaluable remark. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure the participants that are here would really adhere to the message that you've shared here. Once again, a round of applause for Mr. Fataja, please. It's important that we understand how valuable we are as Africans and make sure that we do not let ourselves be driven by any unforeseeable individuals. So it's important that we work together. I always talk about merging together. Only then would we make sure that our objectives are attained successfully. Prior to launching the program, we forgot to mention something which is very important, and I just remembered it now. Alongside the African Nation quiz, we also have the launching of a book as a guide towards the African nations. So I'm sure shortly we would have the author come over here and tell us more about the book. Meanwhile, we proceed, and the next thing we have on the agenda is a poem on the African unity by First Star School, and right after First Star we'll be having Yalisa. So can we have First Star School to recite a poem for us, please? First Star, a round of applause for them, please. Come up, okay, come.
Good morning. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you all. Good afternoon to you all. Distinguished guests, parents invited,
of Festa Lower Basic School, and we are here to present you a poem entitled Mama Africa. Mama Africa. So here it goes.
Mama Africa, Somalia.
Mama Africa, Somalia, Nigeria, Abdi Congo, Mama Africa, Senegal, Zimbabwe, Tunisia, South Africa, the land of enemies, minerals wealth. I salute thee, I adore thee, even in poor health. So many countries I have not spare, have people ready and studied the floor before they melt. Mama Africa, you work with a Sudan long rope, as your people lost all hope. Rather than cooking up a branch of prosperity, have mistakenly invented a branch of austerity. The masses are slowing down, while only a few are high flying. Mama Africa, we talk about your diamond roses, we speak of human losses, we hide our forces in internal boxes.
While people struggle and fight in oil bosses, and external parties have their delightful losses. Mama Africa, how can a land of abundant resources, rich and cultured, continuously be captured? That's be the world with marvel. Allow them to take it from you before it matures. Why not divert these sectors to cell-level destruction? Mama Africa, listen to your children's voice, listen to people's noise. They are trying to be whole, they are trying to be fit, they are crying for proper education, they are crying for anti-corruption, they are crying for youth-dedicated protection. Mama Africa, how many crying years will it take by calculation? How many dying years will it take to diverse services? Mama Africa, along with your weakness, I salute that. Along with your greatness, I adore that. Along with your madness, I still love that. Justice should not be justified. Thank you for your kind attention.
I almost got lost in words. Thank you so much, First Talk, for that beautiful, beautiful point. Can we have another round of applause for them, please? Now, we feel excited when we see the younger ones doing great. Of course, before we have Yelisa come to deliver their point, oftentimes when I sit with Mr. Tunde, and he will be asking me questions that are meant to be asked to these kids that I don't even know. Sometimes I'm like, Mr. Tunde, you know what, forget it, I don't understand. So it's really nice when we have the kids come over here and answer those difficult questions. We are happy, we are very, very happy. So the next one we have on the agenda to also read us a beautiful, beautiful poem. It's Yalisa Senior Secondary School. Do I get that? Yes. Can we have Yalisa Senior Secondary School on stage, please? Yalisa?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. A round of applause for her, please. Oh. A round of applause again, please, for her. Looks like she is the very one here. So go ahead, give us a point.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is Malan Bajan, a proud student of Reality Senior Secondary School. I am here to recite a poem entitled The Black Man's Soul. Though we shall smile hard for pleasure yet again, as though history never put us to pain, as though our freedom was never crushed with decay. Decay we took our values away and gave us pain. Still back home, don't feel not comfort of the brain. Sadness reigned, blood spilled, and there was brain drain. Children no longer enjoyed night stories, they slept in pain. These innocent tears meant nothing to the beast of the cave. Thy fate showed the walls of unity in sad and heavy rain. Where was faith? Where was dignity? Prayers in vain.
A round of applause for that, please.
All the darkness, all that sadness, we neither run nor refrain. They painted red in white colors, but only invisible to the dull brain. The God of African era is done. Africa shall reign fresh again. She shall reign and reign and reign. I thank you all for your attention.
Aww, thank you. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you so much. Of course, it shall always rain. Thank you. Wow, isn't that beautiful? Thank you so much. That was Yalisa Senior Secondary School, and that was a beautiful, beautiful poem. And Africa would always rain, obviously. Why not? So acknowledge the present. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. We would, at this point, love to acknowledge the presence of of our special guest of honor, who is Mr. Ensa Drame. It's a pleasure, sir, to have you. Thank you so much, Mr. Drame.
Also, we want you to speech.
Okay, Mr. Drame, can we have you on the stage to give a word of advice to the younger ones, to the participants who are here?
Let's give a round of applause, please.
Once again, a round of applause for Mr. Ensa Drame, our special guest of honor. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Tunde, the organizer, the coordinator, and the team. It is a great pleasure for me to be here today to attend the opening of the African Nations quiz competition under the launching of a book on that very subject by Mr. Tunde. I take the opportunity to thank him and his team for the courage and support that they have been giving to the education sector of this country. I have known them for quite some time now. I took part in a number of spelling bee competitions that they have organized across the country. And it is an indication that they are here to actually support education from the grassroots level. And you know, education, any nation, the success of a nation depends on the quality of the people. And that starts from the grassroots at the primary school level, getting to the secondary schools and so on. So here today we are here to mark the opening of a new series of quiz competitions for African nations. So I'll urge all of you to take it seriously and do your research and make sure that you know your continent, Africa. The previous speaker, Mr. Fatajo, mentioned that Africa as a continent, we are endowed with resources, but we do not actually make good use of our resources. That the raw materials are extracted from Africa, they are taken out of the continent, they are processed, and then returned back, say, in the form of processed goods like chocolates and so on, and then we buy them at high prices. So if we are able to build our own capacity and then do the things at our own, that will lead the continent into more prosperity. And that can only happen through education, quality education, which starts from the grassroots. So on that note, I'm very glad to associate myself with the noble objective of introducing spelling quiz for African nations. I hope that those who are going to take part will take it up with seriousness and then give the benefits to our continent. So on that note, I thank each and everyone for taking time to attend this and wish everyone the best. Thank you.
So much, Mr. Drame. Of course, Mr. Drame, one thing I forgot to mention, he was the former deputy governor of the second, yeah? Okay, let's have him say that.
Well,
sorry.
Anyway, as introduction, as a background, was one time the second deputy governor of the Central Bank. I started my career with the bank as a junior clerk back in 1987. From 1987 to 2022. 2022, I went through the various ranks from junior clerk, senior clerk, all the way to deputy director, director of banking supervision, and finally retired as second deputy governor of the bank. So I started with a humble background. Like any one of you, I started at a village primary school and then went through the ranks up to the second deputy governor. So, you know, with time and effort, the sky is the limit. I urge each and every one of you to be confident that yes, you can do it. If you are determined, you can do it, and then you can get to any position that you know you wish to. So that's my short biography. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that piece of advice. I'm really thrilled that we have you on this occasion, because obviously we look up to people like him to actually come on board to this kind of event. Because what it do is the participant or the children could be looking up to them. Perhaps they've never even seen them, but having them grace the occasion, sharing the same platform with the younger ones, gives them more confidence. He's mentioned to be confident, to trust that you can do it. So we can only do it when we have those who are saying the words, being present in the midst of those that wants to be like how they are. Once again, a round of applause for Mr. Jame. It's a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, we have the next in our agenda. We don't want to waste much of our time. We have cultural dancing presentation. Cultural dancing presentation. Let us give them a round of applause as they come forward.
All right. Okay. Do we have the cultural dancing crew right here? Okay. Looks like we don't have them available. So we will go straight to the next agenda. But before we do that, let me quickly recall African Nation. I said earlier that African Nation is a fun educational game established to promote the study of African nations, to help students develop quick thinking and probing holistic mind about everyday world around them, while of course fostering healthy academic rivalry among ages. So literally the participants, it's important that we mention the age range. Those that will be participating, the age range is between 12 years to 19 years. Yes, so it's important that we elaborate that. And also, we have a book, launching book, that serves as a guide towards the program itself. And shortly we would have the author come on stage and talk to us. Once again, a round of applause for ourselves, please. Yes, so we go straight to our next agenda. We will be welcoming the Tech School Director, Mr. Mohamed Kande Van Vinci, on a speech, please. A round of applause for him, please. You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor to stand here on this podium to get to talk to younger people like me. I believe those sitting on the front row here, if I am to go through statistics of age, I think I am the youngest sitting on the front row. It is not a matter of chance, It is a matter of commitment. It has been far too long that the younger generation, that is us, saying that we want to be part of nation building. And for me today, it is indeed an honor to stand in front of my fellow young Gambians to share with them a little that I've learned. Let me start by congratulating you all the participants on this great event of African nations. Also permit me to thank the organizers of such remarkable events. It has been long years that we have longed for African identity. It has been long years we have asked for Africans to represent what it is called for. Permit me to share my thoughts with you on this subject matter that I think is very important, not only for the participants here, but for us as young Gambians. It was, if I am correct, it was Bob Marley who said, if you only know where you are from, then you know where you're heading to. What it says in simple context is that you can never build a present without a future, without a past. That is to say, we can't build a future without understanding our past. Ladies and gentlemen, the subject that has preoccupied us here today has been a topic on the center stage. NGOs, government bodies, press, bantabas, even at the household level, have talked about the African nation. I believe if I want to talk about the African nation, we will be here all day long. This is a continent that is blessed and endowed with all the national resources. You name it. Gold, iron ore, bauxite, metal, and the list goes on. But the stories we get on the media is not a pleasant one. We are labeled with corruption. We are labeled with war. We are labeled with coup d'etat, and most recently, the illegal migration to Europe. I ask myself, what should be done and what can be done? Different theories have sought to find a solution to the problem of Africa. But I say there is only one solution to this continent. It's through education. Platforms such as this should be organized whereby young Gambians and young Africans are taught to know their culture and identity. Ladies and gentlemen, living in America as a black man will never make you an American. You are among the 10,000 slaves taken to America. You are never seen as an equal. These were the words of Malcolm X. We must accept that we are Africans first and be glad and honored with what we have to build an Africa that we want to stay in. Mr. Tunde and the team, I would like to say that an event such as this is needed. And as a young Gambian, as a young entrepreneur in the field, I can stand and hit my chest and say that Africans can make it in Africa. Earlier last year, I made a short visit to Europe in which I said to myself, let me see what is in the European world that has made us young Gambians want to travel. I spent an extensive 2 weeks touring Europe. I might say this and it might sound strange, that I felt discomfort in Europe. Not because of any other thing. Yeah, they had beautiful houses, fancy cars, big roads, unimaginable buildings. But as an African, the culture and custom and tradition that I am upheld to, the religious belief that I am upheld to, made me felt uncomfortable. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to urge all those in the educational field, my fellow educationists, and those in the educational field, to look up to organize events such as this, to instill them in our curriculum, to make the African child believe that it is possible in Africa. Last week I did a research on our neighboring country, Senegal. To my surprise, I get to realize that all the gold that is mined in Senegal is taken from the mining center by a helicopter from France, direct to France. With all of the thought of brain drain, that in Africa you can't process that gold into a finished gold. Ladies and gentlemen, I am calling on each and every Gambian to support events like this and make it a curriculum, a subject matter in our schools. For Africans to have confidence, for Africans to believe, for Africans to have the hope that we can make it. In conclusion, in the month of May 1963, leaders of the then independent states met in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Among these speeches, for me, I think one great speech stood out. And it says, knowledge, that is education, makes a man unfit to be a slave. And these were the words of Julius Kambrala Nyerere. Ladies and gentlemen, and I conclude by saying, we as Africans are the only people that can rewrite our story to the best we want. Not the Europeans, not the Asians, not the Chinese. We Africans can do it. Thank you very much.
That is a very great speech. Something that attacked me in that speech. The gold mining organization in Senegal is taking all their gold to France. The same in Nigeria, we have the crude oil. And they are taking all the crude oil and refining it abroad and resell it to us. What a shame. It's high time Africa need to rethink. We need to rethink. They ensure that our education system is nothing. That's why we need to go abroad to read again all what we have read before. It's high time we need to change. Sometimes when I look at Africa, I cry. And when we go there to their country, they mistreat us. They see us as a third-class human being. It's high time we should make our continent great. Respect one another, irrespective of our culture, our language. Africa is the best place to stay in terms of all the resources. Weather condition is the best place to stay. So let's move to the next stage, but before that, let us give our speaker, the one that gave us this wonderful speech, a round of applause once again.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Kande. That was a remarkable speech. It's important that we remind ourselves of such and know that Africa, although it's been portrayed as a land that has less, but it's important that, as he said, we redefine, we tell our own stories. But also not only telling, but we tap in what we have in Africa to make sure that how the story is being narrated is changed. We are the very one that can do that. And of course, it all boils down to us, the younger ones. We are shaping now the future. The younger ones, we are shaping the future. We are taking our country. We need to build our country. So it's important that we have also the elder ones guide us through, of course. So the next thing on the agenda at this point is to have the introduction. Is to have addressed a speech by the Gambia College Lower Basic School, back up with a point. Can we have an address by the Gambia College, please?
Let's give a round of applause.
A round of applause. We are having them back on stage. I'm sure you are
members of the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, students from different learning institutions, the coordinating officer, Mr. Tunde, good afternoon to you all. On behalf of the entire management of the Gambia College, starting from the principal of the Gambia College, the vice principal and the registrar, we are humbly gratified and honored to host such an important event. I therefore seize this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of the Regional Director for Region 2, Mr. Fatajo. Welcome, sir, to this August gathering. Here. Okay. Thank you very much for that pause. We're trying to regulate some technical issues. And for the Gambia College Buganala ECD Lower Basic School is a young growing school, but it's a model school for teacher trainers in this institution. We had never known there is such a competition that had been going around, but nonetheless, my mentor, my inspiration, that's Madam Aisha Tundao, had been attending such program. She is not here today, but we are saying very thank you to ma'am. I don't know where she is. However, for today's event, it's about African Nation Quiz. This quiz will enable young, talented, and blessed children to go through and discover the real treasure that is in Africa. For this event, it is amazing that I saw children showcase their potentials and talents and know much about Africa. I sometimes do tell children now, the world is in our pocket because we are in a digital era. If you go through Father Google, as I'm a teacher, you could see anything that you want to find out. And sometimes teachers are there to support children in all aspects. We are much grateful. However, I don't have much to say for now because as programs are unfolding, we're expecting to see lots of things that will go around. We are never experienced in such competition, but with that support by Mr. Tunde, he's been going up and down to make sure that we are part of the competition. So we are very much pleased, very much gratified to be part of, and we are saying, please, you're welcome to Gambia College. Feel at ease. Please feel at ease and at home, and we hope and pray this event would continue to be hosted by Gambia College all around. We are not going to decentralize it this time. It becomes a learning point for all of us. On that note, I'm saying a very big thank you to all the organizing team, especially the media personnel. You're most welcome to the Gambia College. Feel at home.
Thank you so much, Madam Jallo. It's a pleasure always. I don't know, I always smile when I see, yes, thank you so much, Madam Jallo. That's me being crazy right now. Thank you. Once again, a round of applause for her, please. Well, it's normal that I smile. I smile when I see women giving beautiful, beautiful speeches. Of course, collaborative, as I always say, because I'm not always happy when I see a woman
Beautiful, beautiful. Welcome.
Yes, fine. Okay, great. No, here is fine. This is what's the podium of. Yes. Why is it So maybe they will have your team remove the microphone, we shift the podium. How do we shift it? Yes.
Yes, Bye.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for them, please. Thank you. Okay, yes. So there we go. That was the cutting of the cake. And I don't want to look at the cake now because if I do, I'll be tempted to eat something. I don't want to. So we go straight back to Yalisa, that is the principal of Yalisa Senior Secondary School, to give a speech. 3 minutes, please. Can we have the principal of Yalisa to give a speech?
Let's give a round of applause, please.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay. I hope I have everyone's attention. Okay. I'm the vice principal at Yalisa Opan Senior Secondary School. The principal is actually on a busy schedule, so okay. It's really a great opportunity I have to just send a message across. As today we're actually dealing with something quite significant, and of course young people need to be well informed, motivated and encouraged to partake in whatever has to do with this station. So Africa at large, of course. So what I'd like to just put across, I don't just say a short story, and this story is not far-fetched. It's right here, just a few kilometers away, right from the streets of Busumbala. I just wanted to draw this story across, just to kind of inspire you. Now, once upon a time, I had seen this little boy who stood by a compound gate, and all of a sudden, some other colleagues of his were playing football in the street, and they saw a truck of white people approaching them. So these small boys, as they were so interested in the football, you can imagine how they used to be. All of a sudden they had to leave the football and follow this truck of white people. And they were all like, Tuba Binti, Tuba Pen, please Tuba, I want to be your friend. You can imagine, you know what I'm talking about, it is familiar. So for a moment, I felt something in me, and then I thought maybe it's necessary for me to stand and watch how it kind of happens. So the little boy was right there by the gate and standing and watching these other ones while they were struggling to get a binti from the tuba, struggling to be a friend to the tuba. And all of a sudden, a lady came from outside, from inside the compound, and told this little boy, "You are standing here at the gate." She said it in Mandinka. I cannot speak Mandinka very well, but I'll try. She said, even though Rinjan, he puts the boy's head and said to the boy, "Your colleagues are looking for Minty, they are looking for pen, they are looking for a white friend. And you are standing here with your big head." The lady pushed the little boy. So I just want to see if people get the message. Like, what does this mean actually? How do you think this boy is going to perceive that situation? Something is going to be taught to this boy, and he's going to learn this lesson, and it's going to be deeply rooted in his heart. It's not going to be easily forgotten. And this boy has just been taught that white people are better than Africans. This boy has just been taught that we Africans should follow. We have some people to follow if we want to succeed. That we Africans If we don't have white friends, then our success is still lacking something, it's still lacking substance that we must. But did you know that we can succeed on our own? That we can do it, like one of the speakers said, that we can actually achieve our goals. Anyway, the thing that chases the rat into the fire is hotter than the fire itself. We are often faced with different challenges. There are certain times we are faced with challenges we definitely will not be able to see properly or feel it right. But of course, we can. Logic can hardly prevail over emotion, but it is possible. So there are possibilities, and they are so many, and we have to make use of them. This is Africa, and we have the West. We cannot let them tell our stories for us. We have to tell our stories by ourselves. So initiations like this would definitely give the youths some kind of a chance to be able to say to the world, to be able to narrate or give their own stories, just the way they feel it. Not like listen to those stories. Just some time ago, I was just chatting with a white friend, and then I asked him, why is it that you chose to go to many countries instead of coming to Africa? It took him so long for him to be convinced that it is safe to come to Africa because of the stories that he hears in the media. I tried to convince him that the Gambia is so peaceful. We all see how it happens here. But it took time before he believed. He kept on saying political instability. He's like so many things that are not even associated with our country. So who's going to tell our stories? If this continues, we have to build bridges, and we have to connect the disconnections if we want to prevail. So I want to thank you all for this kind of attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kunzberg. Thank you so much for that, those beautiful words. We appreciate them. Thank you. And the next thing on the agenda is the platform for companies. Okay. Yes. So the next thing on the agenda, like I said, is presentation. Not presentation. Is the platform for the company. Yes. And I would love to have a representative from Star Oil to come on the stage, please. Thank you so much. A round of applause for him, please. Yes, so I've been told it's 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me here, for giving me 3 minutes to dialogue with these beautiful people present here. First of all, I would say thank you to the organizers of this event for having us here, for reaching out to us. Also, thank you to the ladies and gentlemen on the high table, on the front row, for making this day a success. And a big thank you to the participants of this event called African Nations Quiz. Like many have said before me, that it's time for Africa to hear its own voice. And I think with such events, we are a step towards the right direction. And since I'm given 3 minutes, and we are business people and we are profit oriented, and which we believe every platform that we're giving is supposed to be a marketing platform, I will therefore use this opportunity to introduce to you Star Oil Gambia. Star Oil is a multinational corporation in the oil marketing industry that has presence in about 8 countries across West Africa. Just to name few, We have presence in Senegal, Mauritania, Guinea-Conakry, and Mali, and of course the Gambia, which is the latest on the list. Star Oil Gambia is here to address our needs in terms of petroleum products, and we offer both petroleum products in LPG, that is gas, and fuel as in petrol and diesel. We also offer lubricants, quality lubricants for your vehicles to be able to motor across the country without any issues. And also to inform you that our presence is felt greatly in all these countries that I've mentioned, and we are hoping to replicate the same in the Gambia, to associate ourselves with positive issues, positive thinking, and which would not let this, platforms. So we will do everything to participate, to partner with you people like we did. Our door is always open, and we are always here to give you the support that you may need from us. So on that note, I would say thank you all for having us here, giving us this platform to dialogue with you. Thank you.
That was great, and we are happy to have you on the platform, and of course, the business will continue to blossom and grow, obviously, inshallah. So the next thing on our agenda, which is still on the platform for companies, we have Jessica's Makeup Lounge. Jessica's Makeup Lounge, they're into skincare and makeup. However, it would have been fantastic to have them on the platform to elaborate more on their business. But I would give a number just in case if anyone wants to know more of what Jessica's Makeup Lounge do besides the skincare and the makeup. You may reach them on 7977935.
Number 6.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jessica's Makeup Lounge and Star Oil. On the agenda again, still on the companies, we were to expect the unique group to also use this platform. However, we have none of a representative or no representative from unique group. So we move to the next agenda. So the next one that we have, finally, is to have the presentation of the participants on stage. Can we have the participants to join us here on stage, please?
All the participants.
Participants, please join me on stage.
All the participants.
A round of applause for our brave future leaders of Africa. A round of applause, a big one, please. A big one. Thank you. Beautiful outfits. Yes, there you go. That's Africa for you. Fantastic. The land of everything you could imagine. Yes. Beautiful dresses. Welcome on stage, participants. Dear brave participants. Right. Now, right after that. Oh, okay. Come. Yeah, no. Right. Some beautiful dresses. Smile. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. There you go. A round of applause to our brave young participants, our future leaders, the African Nations Quiz finally launched, and these are our brave African young future leaders. Beautiful faces. Smile, please. Smile. Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
on stage to introduce the panelists. So can we have the judges, if they're ready, to join us on stage? Yeah, so we are having the judges now to join us on stage as they will be introducing the panelists. Okay, welcome. Yes, so let's have the judges to tell us the strenuous work they've been doing behind she's gonna kill me. Yes, so that's our beautiful Aisha right here, and that is Binta. Yes, Binta Mitei. I've forgotten the times. I'm giving this to mine. There you go. Well, thank you, Joe, and good afternoon, everyone. We're the judges, myself, and Binta Mitei. Today we've seen a new program that's been unveiled almost a year or two ago, but today, alhamdulillah, we're here to see its evolution. So as the judges, since in the morning we were busy actually because we have three phases to this competition. First is the written test. The written test, so the kids going through the history of the Gambia and then the African nation as a whole. And we are marking the scripts, mind me, today. Right now we are going into the second and the third rounds. Teacher coordinators, I want you to pay attention. We are heading into the second and the third rounds. And the written test is going to amplify those students who find themselves in the time. We're going to use it as a tiebreaker eventually. We have the script, we started marking them. So not to waste time, we stopped. But students that might need it for their progress into the next round, this is just a preliminary, for them to be able to get their visas, we will revisit the written test series and see the scores and compare them. So right now we're heading straight into the second round, and contestants are expected to pick a number from the carton, a number from the box, and that number will determine the question you're going to answer. With this, I'll say a big thank you. I'm here with my colleague, Binta Binti, who is going to refer to the seats if it is necessary. In order to also have all the contestants, we are going in for 25 first. We are going for 25. From the 25, we'll consider looking at the mark seats, how many contestants we're going to have eventually to have our final list who will eventually head into the subsequent rounds. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
The box and the numbers.
Thank you so much, Madam Judge. I have the odd number here. I don't even know why I came over here, but there you go. So participants,
The numbers.
how are you feeling? Okay, I'm going to ask that again. Participants with S.
Contestants.
Oh, kill me and I'm there. Don't worry, it's all fine. Contestants, I've been rectified. How are you feeling? I didn't hear you guys say it again. Oh my gosh, I was so nervous. Gosh, you know what? Excited. That is to show. Yeah, excited. Yeah, I got that word. But that's beautiful, huh? But you all should know that when you're nervous, you know what that shows?
Yeah.
Do you know what that shows when you're nervous? Okay, let me tell you. Oh, okay, I should give the mic. You will talk about it. You'll be fine. Yeah, they're nervous. Probably from the written test, it was tough, right? But mine is the same thing that you're going to see in the subsequent rounds. Contestants are expected to pick a number, and
this number with the questions you are going to answer, okay? When we call contestant number 1, we expect you to pick a number from this and then drop it inside here so that it will not be repeated, okay? Thank you. You have just a minute. Just a minute, okay?
Hello, attention. Starting from contestant number 1.
Okay, can we quickly have contestant number 1? Pick a number. Number
44.
24. 44. Can we please have silence? Can we please have silence? Which African country begins with a letter S?
Somalia.
Correct. Contestant number 2. Can they have a mic so that they can call out their numbers for everybody to hear?
Number 1.
Which African country begins with the letter A?
Nigeria.
Correct. Contestant number 3.
Number 9.
Which African country begins with the letter I?
Ivory Coast.
Correct. Which African country begins with the letter M?
Madagascar.
Correct. Which African country begins with the letter C?
Cameroon.
Correct.
Three.
36. 33. 43. 43. Okay. Which African country begins with the letter C?
Cameroon.
Can you try another C country? Thank you.
Number 45.
45. Which African country begins with the letter S?
Sudan.
Correct.
Number 30.
Sorry. Which African country begins with the letter E?
Egypt.
Correct.
Number 32.
Number 32. Which African country begins with the letter L? L.
Lesotho.
Pardon?
Lesotho.
Correct.
Number 8.
Which African country begins with the letter H? Yes, letter H. Can we have silence on the stage?
There is no country that starts in H in African countries.
Correct.
That is terrible. That is terrible.
37. Which African country begins with letter M?
Mauritania.
Correct.
Number 12.
Which African country begins with the letter L?
Liberia.
Pardon,
Liberia.
Can you speak clearly? Can you speak clearly? You need to be audible because it asks your marks.
Liberia.
Correct. Which African country begins with the letter N?
Libya.
N.
Nigeria.
Can you be audible? I think the mic, somehow the contestants are straining themselves a lot.
Nigeria.
Correct. Which African country begins with a letter Z?
Zambia.
Correct. Which African country begins with letter S? S.
Sudan, South Sudan.
Correct.
Number 20.
Which African country begins with a letter T?
T. Togo.
Correct. Which African country begins with the letter O?
There's no country begins with the letter.
Correct.
Number 33.
Which African country begins with the letter T? T.
Tanzania.
Correct.
Number 19. Number 34.
Which African country begins with a letter S?
Seychelles.
Pardon?
Senegal.
Can you be audible?
Senegal.
Correct. And please, contestants, stick with one country. By the mention of another country, another person cannot use that name again. I think contestants will avoid. It should be 20 now. We're just from contestant number 19. Do we have 20? If not, 21?
Number 35.
35. Which African country begins with letter S? Which African country begins with the letter S? S. As in so, sayang, S.
Somalia.
Somalia was mentioned.
South Africa.
South Africa, correct. Which African country begins with a letter E?
Ethiopia.
Correct. 50. You're looking good. Which African country begins with a letter C?
Central African Republic.
Correct.
Number 49.
Which African country begins with letter D?
Letter
D as in donkey. Can we have silence?
Djibouti.
Pardon? Djibouti.
Yeah.
Correct.
Number 6.
Number 6. Which African country begins with letter F? F as in Fatu.
There's no country that is F.
Correct.
Number 54.
Apart from Congo Democratic Republic, which other African country begins with the letter C? Apart from the Democratic Republic of Congo?
Chad.
Chad, correct.
Number 2.
Which African country begins with the letter B?
Benin.
Correct.
Question 42.
42. Which African country begins with the letter G?
Ghana.
Correct.
Number 3.
Number 3. Which African country begins with the letter C? Mind me. Certain countries have been mentioned.
Comoros.
Letter C.
Comoros.
Can you be audible?
Comoros.
It was mentioned.
Cape Verde.
Cape Verde. Comoros was Cape Verde, correct.
Number 4.
Which African country begins with the letter D?
The only one has been mentioned.
D.
D. The only one has been mentioned.
Correct.
Number 5.
Which African country begins with letter E? E as in Ibrahim.
3.
3. Do you mean to say Eritrea? Correct.
Number 7.
Number 7. Which African country begins with the letter G?
Gabon.
Correct. Number 24. 24. Which African country begins with the letter X? Letter X.
There is no country.
Correct.
$29.
29.
Yes.
Which African country begins with the letter N?
N.
N as in Nima.
Niger.
Pardon?
Niger.
Correct. Which African country begins with the letter Y?
There is none.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Correct.
Number 13.
Which African country begins with the word M?
Morocco.
Correct.
Number 17.
Which African country begins with the letter Q?
There is no country.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is Qatar not part of us? Correct.
Number 53.
Apart from Mauritius, which other African country begins with letter M?
Mali.
Correct.
Number 27.
Pardon?
Number 27.
27. Which African country begins with the letter Z?
Zimbabwe.
Correct. Which African country begins with the letter T? Tunis.
Tunisia.
Tunisia, correct. 28.
Yes.
Thank you. Which African country begins with the letter S? Other countries have been mentioned.
Countries have
Others have been mentioned, but you still have one or two remaining countries. Mentioned?
Sudan.
Sudan have been mentioned, both South
South Sudan.
of course mentioned.
Somaliland.
Mentioned. Correct.
Number 46.
46. Which African country begins with the letter G? Correct. Which African country begins with the letter B? Correct. Do we have contestant number 44? 45, 46. That brings us, I guess, to the end of the second round. Okay, so sorry, while we wait for the judges to come with the third round, quickly we introduced Jessica's lounge, and of course, like I mentioned earlier, they're into skin care and makeup. So you can see they're the one over there. They have some facial wash and some makeup, of course, and I've shared the number earlier. I guess I would need the help for the number again. But if you have any questions, before they leave, they want to leave, if you have any questions, of course, you can address it
to them right there. The number, if I can have the number once more. Do you have the number? So I can forward the number. Meanwhile, while you do that, I'm sure even when you're gone, we would reiterate the numbers. If the judges are ready, we can hand back to the judges. Otherwise, yes. Yeah, so Jessica's Makeup Lounge, the number to reach to them is 7977935. 7977935. Facial, if you want your face to be shining, well, I don't have a shining face, but yeah, I will definitely reach out to them. So they're into makeup as well. You can definitely reach out to them. Back to the judges. Judges, thank you so much for allowing me to use your time. Okay, looks like they're still not ready. Thank you so much, Jessica. Jessica's Makeup Lounge. Thank you so much. Yes, judges back. Okay. Hello. Okay, now the contestants are tired of standing. It's visible, right? So contestants, we will want you to sing the national anthem, then take your seats. Then we'll be coming back after the book lunch. Yes. The national anthem. Okay, after the count of 1, 2, 3.
Our homeland, we stand and walk and pray that all men live in unity, freedom and peace is there. Let justice guide our actions towards that common good, and join our diverse people to prove man's brotherhood. We pray our firm allegiance, our promise we renew. Give us that God of nation, to the Gambia ever true.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful. Okay. That was really beautiful, and obviously I came at the latter part, but I was really naked standing. My feet were all aching, and of course that has gone to show that the contestants were standing for so long. They've been really brave having to stand this long. Now I'm literally dead. So we call on Isa to sew. To give us more smiles. Yes, so there you go. Thank you so much, ma'am.
This is taller than me. Can you bring it down a bit? Tunde will come on board first. Yes. Okay.
Okay, as we all know, the event today is in two folds. One, we have the competition, that's the African Nations quiz competition. Then we have the book launch. Then we have the book launch. We've all seen what the kids have done on the podium. For us, it's simple, it's easy, but like if we were to throw this question back to the floor, it will definitely be difficult for others to answer. That's why you will even see, you will notice that the judges were not so hard on the students, because this is the first time. Pronunciation of the countries is difficult for most of them, and that should not mean that they should be marked down because of that default. So the second part is the launch of the African nations and national symbols book written by Mr. Tunde. Mr. Tunde, as we all know, is a household name now when it comes to the education system. Me personally, I met Mr. Tunde when I was in charge at the National Library branch, that's the Brikama branch. That's where I met Mr. Tunde. First, his passion was writing. His passion was writing, to become an author, not only an author, but to author books that will be used in the curriculum of the Gambia. And he started with the Islamic faith. The Islamic faith was a mini book, a guide for all Muslims. From the launch of that book, which was facilitated and made possible by Madam Aisatundao of the Gambia College and other donors, especially partners like the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Mr. Tunde proceeded to initiate the spelling bee competition. This spelling bee competition gave birth to many more competitions that Mr. Tunde and the Tekem Transformational Organization continues to bring to the doorsteps of every Gambian, starting from Koina to Gatton. We all know it is difficult. We have seen spelling bee competitions taking place in the country, in the combos especially, but even to run those programs is difficult. You need finance. And Mr. Tunde will always say, even if I don't have donors, I'll make sure that it happens. And that is how the spelling bee competition started in the late 2015, moving forth to 2016. And here we are today for the launch of the African Nations Quiz Competition. Not only did Mr. Tunde come about with this program, but he also thought it would be necessary for the kids to have a guidebook, not only for the children, but also for the parents, guardians and teachers, and every other citizen, especially every other person of the African race. This book, as we can all see, it contains symbols, national emblems, and cultures and traditions of other countries. This is not just a book that you can go online and Google and have the answers. These are contents that Mr. Tunde took his time, went through the libraries, accessed the physical book, which is difficult for most of us, made his research, both oral and written, and came up with something that it will capture your imagination once you start going through the book. So ladies and gentlemen, we will know that Mr. Tunde is not just busy going around arranging papers and the orders, but he's the guy behind the scene. He's the guy who made it possible for all of us to be here, including the judges. All we do is to dress fine on the day of the occasion today because of a guy in the person of Tunde Ogundumu. Mr. Tunde, you'll kill me later. Can you put a round of applause for Mr. Tunde? Because for me, being a librarian, being exposed to different books, and a great, I can say I'm not that much great, but I've been editing. I've been editing works, and I've been like, you did this, you did that, you did that. But trust me, when I came across the book, the first time he opened up the book and showed to me, I was like, Mr. Tunde, you've done it all. There is nothing else we can do except to learn the book and give it an ISBN. It's already done. So, Mr. Tunde, we will say a very big thank you. And believe me, not only Mr. Tunde worked with partners. And few amongst them is the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, the Social Security, we have Star Oil, all represented. We also have the Central Bank of the Gambia, who has been there since inception, since the National Spelling Bee competition. And these people made Tunde what he is today, coupled with his passion for what he is doing, his dedication. You could have said, oh, I came into this country, I did not see this, I did not see that, and comment on social media, but he said, no, I will go underground and push them to do it. And that's exactly what he did. He pushed most of us, because people like me, I was in the shadows, I was in the background, seated down there smiling. So they're all part of it. Today, he's a graduate, and also pursuing like his master's, I believe. And my life, when I was like, let me apply for my master's, what did I do? I reached out to Mr. Tunde. Yes, I reached out to him like 5, 6, 8 years ago. I would not have believed that I would reach out to Mr. Tunde to come up with such a strong reference for me. And I'm hopeful. And with myself, including many others out there, are grateful to take him transformational organizations. Even when he looks back and he doesn't see anybody, Mr. Tunde will go alone to the library to do his research. And it paid. So today I would like to celebrate this guy, this gentleman who made it happen, who made it possible for this gathering here today. Can we put our hands together and welcome Mr. Tunde to come and give a brief speech.
Thank you, my dear.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's occasion is not for taken alone, but each one of you here today. Let us put our hands together, ourselves, please. Good afternoon to you all. It gives me great pleasure and honor to welcome you to this Expo making event. A successful factory to awaken African children to create a uniquely powerful opportunity to develop high impact of critical thinking skills that will impart leadership skills. The Honorable, the chief panelist of the TKM National Spelling Bee 2019 final, Mrs. Aisha Tuso, launched the African Nations Current Affairs competition at QCT Bijilo. It is the product of that project that we are launching today. Nations and national symbol tell Africa. A guide to study African nation quiz. A step in moving our youth away from belittled Africa and to see Africa as a continent of opportunity rather than a threatening one. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to throw this question to you all. Take this question
question and ask yourself deeply, if you are fair to Africa, why is Africa belittled? Why is it disbelieved? Think deeply. Give yourself the answer. You will now see the reason why this book comes up. Yes, over the years, this question lingered in my mind. I believe one major reason for this is because we Africans have long neglected the merit of our intelligence, knowledge, wisdom, thinking, and look outside for answer rather than inward. We rarely re-evaluate ourselves to the basis of our knowledge and traditions on our own terms. We have handed that responsibility to outsiders who only measure us through our failed politics and politicians, and they see themselves as the solution. Ladies and gentlemen, you all will agree with me that there is no better time than now for the coming of the book, A Guide to Study African Nation Quiz, to meet the reality of rewrite African history to what the world tailor our continent by the report of Livingstone, Stalimonga, and colonial missionaries. Ladies and gentlemen, at this junction, I must commend the support of Mr. Lami Fatajo, the director of RETU, and Madam Aishatu Indao, Vice Principal, Gambia College. They ensured that this laudable effort is achieved during their tenure, just like other pragmatic achievements witnessed in the spelling bee. My dear director, my loving mother, Madam Indao, truly you are teachers builder. I salute you, and we are proud of you. I want to see this opportunity to appreciate the MOPSI Education Officer in charge of this program, Mr. Malankuyate. My big family, Mr. Sano of RETU, and my dear lovely sister in charity worker, Madam Indao and Aisha Tamba, and my working members. Under their watch, we were able to print the book, which we are launching today, and eventually kicking off of a new project called African Nation Quiz. I think you all need to clap for us on this. It is my belief that students, teachers, parents, media houses will join and be taken in this struggle in strengthening and retain culture of reading in our country, the Gambia. This is just the beginning. A lot more still needs to be done, and we are counting on your support. We are begging you today to give us your best. We know you can do it. We know you can knock door for us. Please, kindly continue doing that for us. Can you? Yes. Thank you very much. The answer is yes, which I know. We believe every stakeholder in achieving the goals of this book on the project will be achieved by each one of us here today. Finally, I thank everyone here presently for finding time to celebrate this occasion with us. I specifically thank the special guest of honor today, Mr. Esadrame. He was never tired whenever we called on him as a family. Sir, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on your journey back home, We say thank you for coming. God bless you all.
Next, we've seen how emotional Mr. Tunde was when he had to make reference to someone. And we've had Mr. Tunde call someone mother. And we all see this person as a mother, as a role model for us women. They said women, building women is rare, but yet still we have few women in our community who are indeed inspiring. Sometimes even when you stand on the roads looking for a ride, the moment you see a woman, as a female, you'll be like, haram or haram or wrong. So it's like even a woman doing a business, you'll be like, so we've seen women absolutely looking out for their fellow women. And this person is one of those. Starting from myself, when I was at the college, this woman would be like, you're not moving to the HTC level, you're staying with the PTC. You're staying here because we need better teachers at the primary level. So you'll be like, no matter the hurdles, I'll be here, you'll be fine. Sometimes I'll be out of school for days, and this woman will stand up and say, give her her stipend, because she understood the why. And we've seen her facilitating for mothers, especially young mothers, with babies, for at least the ancillary staff to step in and help them carry their babies, so that they will be able to concentrate on their lectures. This woman has educated a lot of people. When I said people this time around, I'm not wearing the gender lenses. It's both genders, both male and female. Wherever you go, you mention her name, it's a household name. And in my speech, I said, had it not been for her, Mr. Tunde and I, and the Taken team would not have had the courage to be here today. Because when Mr. Tunde started with his first book launch, that's the Islamic faith, he told me, I said, oh, I want to launch it at the Brikama primary school. And knowing me, I was like, oh, Mr. Tunde, no. We have to do this in a grand style. So it was like, where are we going to without spending a kobo? I could not think of any other place but the Gambia College. And when I thought of the college, I could not think of another person but a great lady in the name of Miss Aisatundao. I want us to put our hands together for this great lady, a mother who has been there for society, who has been there for everyone, from all walks of life. And today, Mr. Tunde wants everyone to know that he dedicated his book to this great lady. And can we have Madam Aisatundao on stage to give a speech? Oh, see, it's represented. Welcome, ma'am.
very much, Isaac Sow, Madam. Thank you very much, everyone here, the organizers. In fact, I think Madam Sow has made my work very difficult. I wouldn't even know where to start. When you want to talk about Madam Dow, you actually can take a whole day and you can't finish talking about her. And you'll never repeat yourself, and that's for a fact. I'm really humbled to be representing Madam Aissatou Ndao today. I would in fact say stepping in, because I don't believe she can be represented by my humble self. However, I am grateful to have this opportunity today to be stepping in for her. A great woman, a great Gambian woman, a mother, a sister, an aunt, to everyone, regardless of your gender, race, faith. She is a true replica of Africanism. Myself, if it weren't for her, I would not have been where I am. I came to the Gambia College to pursue my advanced diploma secondary. And she said to me, you have everything it says, it requires. And she didn't just say that, she meant it. She held on to my hand, took me through it, and sometimes when I thought it was tough, as a mature student with my age and responsibility and everything, and said to myself, hey, this is not for me. If she doesn't see me in the college for a week or so, she picks her phone call up, calls me up, and she will be like, Aissatou, where are you? When I say to Madam Dow that I think this course is difficult, she said, no, it's your thinking. Come to my office and we'll talk about it. And Alhamdulillah, if it weren't for her, I would have given up. But she kept pushing me until I came back, and I realized that in fact, it wasn't difficult, it was my thinking. I just want to connect here with the event. When we say African nations, African nations are actually the giants. We are the producers. We produce whatever the developed nations need to be called developed nations. However, we all know where we are. And I believe that is simply because we don't believe in ourselves. And really, we don't believe in ourselves because we don't know ourselves enough. If you don't know something, you wouldn't know the value. And I think this book is coming at a very right time, when the generation that's coming up are trying very hard to make a change. And I want to tell you all that what we need to make that change is this book. Because really, we have a saying in our local languages that no matter how long a stick stays in the river, it will not turn into a crocodile. And another saying goes, charity begins at home. So for those seeking knowledge, this is home for you. This is where you need your foundation to build you both academically, but also mentally, socially, culturally. So I want to say thank you very much to Mr. Tunde for bringing this very essential piece of work to our doorsteps. And I want to say thank you to Madam Dao. I personally can't thank her enough, and I know it goes the same way for a lot of people, for giving me this opportunity to be able to step up for her today. And please let us buy the book. Thank you.
We're calling it. You're calling it. Present the book. Okay.
I am emotional. Having listened to Isa to spoke, and of course I was quick to resonate to her talking about Mr. Tunde, because if you are anybody who was close to Mr. Tunde, you would know, or you would be able to resonate immediately to what Aissatou said while she was right here. Tunde, thank you so much. I would always tell him, regardless of the challenges, because we say in life, challenges are part of the way, hurdles are part of the way, obstacles are part of the way. In as much you are on this earth, you must undergo those things. If you want to be strong, if you want to grow, you must fight them and you must stand strong. So Tunde is someone who does not believe in failure. He always tells me, I don't believe in failure. I am about to cry. But yeah, that's Tunde. That's how much of a great inspirational person he is. And he is contributing immensely, because he's the first person that had me stand in front of like this massive big hall like this to talk. I wouldn't even dare do that. Of course, it's a learning process. The first time you do anything, you may go wrong. I'm talking to the young ones here. The first time you try something, you may go wrong. The problem is you don't listen to what people say. Of course, people don't always talk, right? You want to try it again, you're like, oh my gosh, the first time I did it, I went wrong. Oh, I don't want to do it. You know what? Trust in your guts. And you know that. That's the first time. Because you want to grow, you learn from the mistake you make from the first time. That helps you to grow. The second time when you do it, is another mistake you're doing, not the first mistake. The young ones right here. And another thing I want to send across. We all get nervous. You see that thing called nervousness? Gets to everybody. If you're a human being, I would like to believe, unless you're not, but I would like to believe if you're a human being, before you do anything, of course, it's natural, it's inbuilt in us. You get nervous, but that does not stop you. Okay? It does not stop you. You still go ahead. Mr. Tunde, thank you so much. Looks like I'm talking too much. I said to here again. So I'll hand over the mic to her. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we've come to almost the tail end of this program. And can I have
I think this is something that I need to open regarding those that made it the right way. You haven't got it? This is my... okay. I leave it to you. Go ahead.
Yes, can we have the director, I think, Mr. Fataju, can we have you on stage to... and Madam? Yes, the rep for Madam Dao. Can we have both of you so that we can hand over the book? Can we have the People's and Students Poetry Club come over? Can we have a rep, the coordinator, and anyone from the People and Students Poetry Club? Do we have them? Yes. Can we have Poetry Club Basse on standby? Poetry Club Basse. Can we have Fresh Start? Can we have Fruits of Education? Fruit of Education. Can we have Yakano on standby? Yakano. Can we have Yunum Barrett? Yunum Barrett. Can we have Swallow? Okay, can we have the representative for Star Oil, the Gambia, Mr. Yaya Toure? Okay, thank you, Mr. Patajo. Yeah, can we have Gambia College Primary School? Gambia College Primary School. Can we have FFA? Can we have Yalisa? Can we have RIS? Can we have Tangular on standby? Tangular. If these young people don't want to show off, we can jump there, no problem. Mindao. Can we have Mindao? West Africa. West Africa on standby. Can we have Longman also on standby? Longman. Scan 8 on standby. Scan 8. Scan 8. Can we have Kafuta? Yes. And I believe we have Madam Tamba from Kian. Can we have Madam Tamba from Kian? Madam Tamba from Kian believes she's a businessman. Madam Tamba, any representative for Madam Tamba, since she's a businesswoman from Kian.
Is it Madam Tamba? Yes. You are representing Kian very well. I like
it. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Toure. That brings us to the end of the presentation of books. Can we have all the participants on stage, please?
This belongs to one for
No, they will pick it. They will see themselves. Then you can follow the
I just want to show them the soda was inside there.
the country, because they are coming in the community now. They come in the
I think now you're welcome. Oh, you're not? You should not. I guess you're all happy, right? Yes. Somehow. Yeah. You're nervous? We're done. Yeah, we're done. You should not be. And ladies and gentlemen, and this is a sample. This is a sample of the tickets that the contestants will be going home with. Each will be given an envelope. Yes. Each will be given an envelope, and the envelope will contain this card, and then this card. This. Yes. I think the boy is in love. So with this, each contestant will be receiving an envelope, and with that envelope sealed, once you open the envelope, the country that you find in that envelope is the country that you'll be riding in. Okay? That's the country you'll be riding in. Henceforth, as of today, you will be making research based on that individual country. The individual country. Our today's written test and the rounds that we have is to see how okay they are with the history of Africa, the African country. And during the preliminaries, you will see each contestant being questioned based on the country they are riding in. So contestants, don't be scared. For today, you're all going home with your visa. You're all qualified to go into the next round. Today is the luncheon, so we don't want anyone going home somewhere, because I've seen what most of you have done. So I started from the pronunciation. Some cannot pronounce the countries very well, so you'll not be there, and I'll be like, who is representing the Gambia? And you're like, do you mean Zambia? We will not be having that case. in the future. So today, you're all receiving your envelopes, and we think you will find your visa and the country that you'll be flying on. Okay? Thank you. So, this is exactly the purpose of this competition, to have you all smiling when the judges are serious. And when you come back here, I don't want to see anyone crying, because we've given you enough opportunity. Okay. That's it. So good luck. Good luck to all of you. Once you get your ticket, you can go up the stage. This you're going home with it. So you're coming next when the round starts. Once you get your ticket, you're affected. So the written test, as I said, teacher coordinators, when it gets tough, we are making reference to that test. When there is a tie, you're all familiar with a tiebreaker, right? So now you have to try much more, come back much more stronger, okay? Considering all know what you did, right? The map was not fully filled, the countries were not arranged alphabetically. We know what we did, right? So this will give us an opportunity to try hard, so that when we come back, within the mass and the course, only the days to know which country you're flying. So you all have to make research on this country. Make that assignment. So when the date is set, the competition starts properly. Hello, the both of you, I'm done here. Thank you very much. You can come back. From which school? In Lombard. He took his own. Did they? No. Contestant. Oh, they did the contestant.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of management and on behalf of the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, I have the singular honor and distinguished pleasure in extending my heartfelt thanks and sincere appreciation to your invaluable support given to our participants by their teachers. And I have no doubt that come in the second competition, the students from Region 2 will surely make it. You know, in Region 2, when it comes to education, we are always in the forefront. So I thank our regional director, who is my younger brother, for the very good work that he's doing in this region. And I have no doubt that Mr. Fatajo will always be there for us. For Tunde, I don't think I can say much about, because whatever I am going to say about concerning Tunde, I'll be only feeding on crumbs. People have completely spoken out of my mind. But I can tell this August Assembly that I started working with Tunde since 2015. And since then, we have been working hand in glove. So on that note, I thank all the participants and their teachers who are here with us for the support, for the encouragement that they are giving them. And I wish all of you a safe return to your respective homes. Thank you very much, and the program is declared closed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Kuyate. Thank you for the wonderful speech. The program has been declared closed.